Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
And that was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going to the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out! Get out! The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
Megan.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go?
Holy sh!
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's
You pissed off the wrong woman.
oh my God, I have been assaulted when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil.
Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan.
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 Megan Fox.
Thank
Thank you. Cheers.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Good morning, wherever you are. I am late today. I'm sorry. I was going to be here at 9, and then I was like, oh, guess what? Nothing's going to be happening. We're just going to be staring at a screen, and I was tired. So sorry. I was on with Legal Vices because he had Dave Neal on this morning. What a great show that was. Dave Neal is doing some great work in the Clayton Echard, Laura Owens scandal. I've got a lot of stuff today. I didn't write it all down in order, but I've got stuff that I want to go over and updates in that case, updates on a new case. Since it is True Crime Tuesday, we have a new true crime case that caught my attention in Alaska that's the trial's kicking off today. And if it's televised, maybe we'll actually watch some of it. I'm not sure. I can't find it so far. No way, Legal Vices. Shut up. What? I would think that yours is longer. And you think mine is longer. Yours seems longer to me. That is so funny. How are our intros the exact same length? And we didn't even try. Thank you for saying the hair looks good. I was not happy with it in the mirror, but on camera, it seems to be doing okay. Because I have a lot of like fuzzies going on. My grays are like fuzzing up in the root area, but you can't see it on camera. I can see it in the mirror, but not on camera. All right. So Flux, talk about your hair. I don't want to disappoint my dad. Speaking of my dad, my mom and dad, they are out of the hospital. They're both doing well. My mother has finally gotten a diagnosis. She actually does have epilepsy, which they thought was really weird and unusual because she's never had it before, and it's not very common to get it in your old age. But that's what it is, and her medication's been adjusted, and she's doing much better. She hasn't had any seizures to my knowledge since she's been on the new medication, but it is making her feel a little nauseated. So we're hoping that she'll either get used to it or they can find something that doesn't make her feel sick. But both parents are not in the hospital. So that is a good thing. Thank you so much for all your prayers. And I know you guys have been asking me about how are they doing. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. They're doing well. They're doing well. So yeah, it's a really weird thing to have epilepsy that late in life, but you deal with these things as they come along. I have my setup weird today. I have my desk a little bit higher than normal. Maybe I should just raise my chair instead of messing with my desk. I'll raise my chair up so I can reach the keyboard. Okay, yeah, that's better. I felt like a little kid sitting at the table, like not tall enough to get to the table. All right. So, welcome back everybody. We are on trial watch. I'm looking at I don't think anything happened in court today other than good morning and the actually no, nobody even came into court at all. So it's just been on the seal all day on Law and Crime. So my YouTube buffering issue appears to be an upload speed issue. That Spectrum is limiting my upload speed for no reason, and I haven't had a chance to call them yet, but that is the problem with YouTube. At least that's what I'm thinking it is. That's what Brad and I were kind of troubleshooting that this morning. And so I need to call Spectrum, which you guys know is a whole thing. Should I call them while I'm on the stream? Wouldn't that be funny? You want to hear me complain to Spectrum? I'll be on hold. We could get real hold music. But yeah, they've for some reason, and I pay a lot of money for this Wi-Fi that they're supposed to be giving me higher upload speeds, and they are not. They are clearly limiting my upload speeds. So it's usually at like 20 and it's now at 7. Oh shit, Brad, I just realized that I forgot to do what you told me to do, which was to unplug the router and plug it back in. Wait the 10 minutes. I didn't do that. So, yeah, we're probably going to have problems today. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right, we will call them if I get bored later, but I'm not bored yet because I have things to talk about. Where should we start? Where should we start? I know. Get over to meganfox.locals.com. By the way, there is a live chat over there. It is going, and it is hilarious as usual. Are the memers awake? Have the meme farmers begun? Okay, so I have to bring this up. Thank you, locals, for sharing this, because every time this bitch is in the news, my notifications go wild, and it's so frustrating. It's so upsetting. I hate it. How come locals is not coming up as a share? That's weird. Why can't I share my local screen? Ah, there it is. I have too many screens open. I'm going to have to get rid of some of them. So this bitch went to the Grammys or whatever dressed like this. And this is allegedly the other Megan Fox. Can you believe this? She doesn't look anything like herself. But she was wearing something out of chainmail. And every time she's in the news for this garbage, I get so many messages. But I mean, is this even a good looking dress? I could tell you, I don't particularly like it. I mean, I see the look that she's sort of going for, but I don't think it's working. Let me show you one that I think is really effective in a good looking Grammy dress. Hold on, let me show you one. I can't play it because we'll get copyright on the music probably, but this dress, oh, I didn't retweet it. Why didn't I do that? Hold on. Did you guys see Miley Cyrus? I mean, she was wearing something like this, but she looked amazing. Like amazing. And I don't give a whole lot of compliments to Miley Cyrus generally because she has done some stupid things. But this dress, this performance was really good. I mean, and for a stage dress at the Grammys, it was show-stopping. Totally show-stopping. Wait, let me make sure that I have this muted. All right. All right, here we go. Did you see this? I mean, I never watch the Grammys anymore, but my goodness, this girl looks better than she ever has in her whole life. She's working out. She looks fantastic. And I love this dress. It's a real showstopper. And she sounded great too. This clip is terrific of her doing I Can Love Me Better, which is a really good song. I enjoy Miley Cyrus when she's singing and not doing stupid things. And this performance is great. It was great. I don't think it's trashy. I think it looks, for a stage dress, it does remind me of Tina Turner. Tina Turner's, famous fringe dress. I actually love it. I think it's great. I think it's a fun performance dress. Can't sing. Miley Cyrus can definitely sing, you guys. She has a terrific voice. I disagree. Yeah, she's going for the Tina Turner big hair look. I thought it was fun. And I think she pulled off this dress very well. And I don't think the other one did. I think this, whatever this is not even in the same league. This is not even the same category. This one was so much better in so many different ways. It's a great dress to dance in, has tons of movement, like just super, super cute. I loved it. All right. I mean, you guys who were like, yeah, it's trashy or whatever. It's the Grammys. What do you expect? And she's young, man. If I had a body like that, I'd do it. I'll tell you what. Enjoy it when you are a size 0. Might as well wear what you can when you are that size. Speaking of size, my scale is out of control. It's not going the other way. It's going the wrong way. I think I've gained back like 10 pounds. It's enough already. I've got to stop. I keep saying the eating is over, and then I find myself with a pack of Oreos at midnight. That has to stop. I'm seeing it in my face, and I don't like it. Ugh. All right. Been there, done that, says, I identify as a healthy size. Well, we should all strive to be healthy. Unhung Hero, thanks for the super chat, says, weren't you advocating giving ISPs the ability to filter your network traffic? Well, I want them to filter like illegal, horrible, violent stuff. I don't want that coming into my home. Like I do want to say from yesterday, that conversation we were having, I don't know if any of those ideas I had are good ones or bad ones. They might be bad. This is definitely something we need to talk about, though. We have to figure out how to give the consumer more control over what is brought into our homes. That's my main problem with it, is that filtering services reduce speed. Is that true? Well, can't they figure out a way that's not the case? Can't they figure out some way to not do that? I mean, it's 2024 and we still are dealing with slow internet speed. I feel like I'm being lied to. I feel like this is just not true. Yeah, she was wearing a different dress for the actual awards, which was like this hand beaded. It was cool too. It looked like an Egyptian hand beaded thing. And normally, I don't like the naked dresses, but I just thought it was cool. I just thought it looked really cool. Maybe I'm just getting used to it. I'm just getting used to Hollywood being so naked all the time that now it's like it's just normal. But I did think, I mean, as far as my mother was a seamstress, she made amazing clothes. And I'm sure even she would look at this thing and go, that's a work of art. I mean, somebody hand beaded this thing. Here it is. This is the one. I mean, and this is more like the Megan Fox one. This picture doesn't do it any justice. Hold on. We got to get the live one of her walking in it, because the still photo looks kind of stupid. But when she's walking in it, it's something else. Where is it? Maybe it's under media. I'll find it and I'll pull it up. But it probably took some poor little kids in China a year to make this. Let's see. Here we go. Here it is. Now we can't see the bottom of it or the back. And the bottom and the back is pretty amazing too. So this is that chain. So I guess the chain mail is a thing they're doing now. I didn't like this one as much as I like the one that she did the performance in. This one it's extremely naked, and the back is really naked too. But it is a work of art, I'll tell you that much. At least somebody put some time into it. At least it's not like those naked dresses they were wearing a couple years ago that was literally just sheer fabric. Ugly. There's like nothing to it. Was it made of safety pins? No, I don't think so. I don't know, but it couldn't be very comfortable. Looks like a bad Princess Leia costume. Well, I liked the one in the performance better. I thought that one was a better looking dress. You could definitely move in it better. I don't think chainmail is gonna stick around very long as a fashion thing because I don't think it's very comfortable to wear chainmail. All right. Anyway, moving on. I don't care about the Grammys. I didn't actually watch the Grammys, but I do like to see the fashion sometimes. And I was pretty blown away by that, both the performance and that outfit. I thought it was a lot of fun. It reminded me of the dresses that the professional ballroom dancers wear. You know, it moves really well. Like I could see somebody wearing that on Dancing with the Stars, and that would be fun to watch. Oh, the greatest performance was definitely Tracy Chapman doing Fast Car with what's his name? The country guy who did it. It was awesome performance. I wish I could play it for you, but I'm sure I'll get copyrighted, so I can't. But you should look that up. Duncan Idaho says, I've got no problems with the naked dress. Yeah, most men don't. Most men have the 20% has no problem with the naked dresses. 14,000 safety pins, 675 hours of work. All right. Yeah, Fast Car is a great song. That whole album, Tracy Chapman's album from the 90s that had that song on it, is an awesome album. I have so many good memories with that album. Just love. Okay. All right. We need to catch up on, okay, there's this new trial. And I want to read about it because I don't know anything about it, but I saw something on Twitter yesterday and it really shocked me in kind of a bad way where I was like, what the hell am I looking at? But it sounds like a really interesting case. So let's start with the tweet that I saw that bothered me. And I'll tell you why it bothered me. And then we'll talk about the case. All right, here we go. This says, powerful image out of Alaska. Today marks the start of the trial of Brian Smith. Brian Smith killed 2 women and filmed himself torturing and murdering them in a hotel. Quality guy. A woman who was out with Brian Smith stole a memory card containing these grisly videos, and it ended up in police hands. And it looks like the Shaming of Jay here on Twitter is following this case. And I am looking for but see, the reason why this picture bothered me, though, is because it appears to be that these ladies are sitting in court. They're in a court hearing. Now, I don't know if the jury is present or not, but I'm a reporter. I've sat in court hearings before. I've been in murder trials before. And in murder trials, you are not allowed to even wear pins, for your victim. The judge will make you take it off. You can't wear a t-shirt for the victim. It's prejudicial to the jury. And allowing these women to sit there with bloody handprints on their faces just jarred me. I was like, are you kidding? A judge didn't make them leave? A judge is now, if the jury is there, I don't know if this was a preliminary hearing or not. Opening statements are supposed to be happening today, but I haven't found it streamed yet, so I'm still looking. If the jury was there, and I'm the defense attorney, I'm arguing for a mistrial because this is wrong to do in a courtroom. You can protest outside, absolutely. And I don't think there's any question this guy did it. He literally filmed himself doing it. But that doesn't mean that you can stop court decorum and allow people to protest inside a courtroom or do things like this. Now, the handprints, the bloody handprints over the mouth is a thing that symbolizes, Andrea Burkhart filled me in, it symbolizes missing and murdered Indigenous women. And while I understand totally that you know, it's a very effective, I think, symbol, and I think that it you know, it definitely elicits a feeling of seriousness and horror. It has no place in a courtroom. So I hope, no. I know they're Native, and I know they're allowed to wear face paint. That's not what this is about. It's, can you wear it in a courtroom? Can you wear it in a courtroom? And the answer is no, you cannot. You cannot do this in a courtroom. This is prejudicial to the defendant. And it doesn't matter if the defendant is guilty as hell. You can't have people in a courtroom wearing outward symbols that are insinuating that he's guilty. It's prejudicial to the jury. Now, the jury has already been seated. They're not being seated today. They've already been seated, at least according to the Alaska Press. So they're supposed to be doing opening arguments today. Who's going to call them out? Well, me. Yeah, it seems if you did, you'd be forever labeled racist. Well, I don't care about that. I do care about missing and murdered Indigenous women, and I think that it is a problem that our press doesn't seem to cover those stories very often, which is another reason why I kind of want to read about this case. However, oh, so this might be an Alaska thing? You can in Alaska? But what I still don't understand that. How is it not prejudicial, though, to the defendant? Not that I care about some guy who filmed himself strangling women, because that's gross and he should go to jail forever, or perhaps be put under the jail. But it's not just this one case you have to worry about. You have to worry about other cases and other defendants who may be innocent. And allowing this to be in front of the jury is like, I'm blown away by it. I can't believe it's allowed. Does anybody have any more information on that being allowed in Alaska? I mean, I just think you have to be so careful not to prejudice. And our court system lately has been such a clown show. There's so much people are getting away with. And I'm not calling these people clowns. These women are obviously advocates for I'm calling the judge a clown if he's allowing this type of thing to go on in the courtroom. All right, but let's look it up, though, because I do want to find out the details of this case. The defendant's name is Brian Smith. Let's see what Alaska media has. Yeah, shirts with slogans are not allowed, pins not allowed. Weird if this is allowed. Yeah. Clicker, I'm trying to catch up on your chats. Okay, let's see. Brian Smith trial. Like, my understanding has always been that you can protest all you want outside the courtroom, and you can do things like this outside the courtroom. But once you go inside, you have to put down the signs, and you have to take off the pins or the t-shirts, because you can't be sending messages to the jury from the gallery. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. This was 5 days ago. 4 days ago. Here, let's watch this. Hopefully my YouTube will work today.
Claire, this is Rebecca Polsha with our investigative unit. And what we want to talk about today is, starting next week, is the murder trial of Brian Smith. Mm-hmm. Now, I wasn't familiar with the case when we started this, so can you kind of give us some background, what's going on with this case?
Yeah, absolutely. So Brian Smith is a man who in about 2019 was in Anchorage. He's originally from South Africa, and he is accused of killing at least 2 women. And how this came to light was that someone on the street found an SD card, like a memory card, labeled homicides at the Marriott. And so that's how this kind of jumped into the national attention, really. And it's also about the time when people started really.
He labeled the SD card homicides at the Marriott. You have to be kidding me.
Focusing on the high rate of murdered and missing Indigenous women. And this was, involved 2 Alaska Native women.
Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the super
both
chat.
of the women are Alaska Native. And when did this occur?
2019.
Okay, so what's been going on? We're now 2024. What's been going on between then and now?
Duncan Idaho says, I don't see how that wouldn't be prejudicial in a United States court. Last I checked, Alaska is a state in the union that shouldn't be allowed. I agree. I mean, I'm hoping the jury wasn't there because this trial is just starting. And hopefully when the jury is there, the judge won't allow that. No, they're not tattoos. It's face paint.
We have had a lot of delays in this, and some of it's, the things you would expect, COVID, but there is also, Brian Smith had fired one of his attorneys at one point. They had been asking for extensions for many reasons. And so now we are finally getting to jury selection on Monday. And even yesterday, when we had one of kind of the final days of getting things ready before this goes to trial, there were delays.
We're just going to have to put up with the buffering.
Then too, because the defense and the prosecutor were going through everything that was recorded. There's going to be a lot of evidence in this case, especially recordings of things that Brian Smith has said.
Tilly T, thanks for the super chat, says about throttling. Check your terms and conditions. Here I'm throttled after using certain
to police officers
until
that
after
his
11.
defense attorney was trying to get thrown out of this case.
Now, when we talk about some of the recordings, I don't know who's seen them outside.
Joe Pottinger, thanks for coming into the Fox Den. Welcome for being a new member. Okay, let's go down in the quality and perhaps that will
side
help.
of the case, but we've heard a little bit about them. How upsetting are these that we're expecting to hear?
These are, from what we have been told, and again, we haven't watched these things because the trial hasn't begun yet, but what we have read so far, so some pretty horrific events, and it is expected to be rather graphic, and that's one of the things that the judges talked about in this case is because this will be live streamed, and that's done by the court system, and we will as well take that live stream from the court system. But there comes into play of who should see what within this.
All right, so that's going to be on Alaska News Source. All right, interesting. Let me check that. Because if that's the case, we may watch that trial today.
Should it be something
while we're
that
waiting for the verdict?
The jury sees, or should it be something that the people in the galley see? So we'll see what happens with that as the judge kind of goes through something like this, because this is all relatively still kind of new, the idea of live streaming court cases, and especially new in Alaska. We've had precedent with this in the Valley, but as far as I can remember, I can't remember a case that has gained such large attention in Anchorage that has been live streamed.
And so Monday, this will begin. What happens on Monday?
So Monday, there are 50 people showing up at 8:30 in the morning. Everything is set up right now so that there's seats of 25. Each attorney will be given an hour each to question that first 25 group of people. And that's when they'll see who they want. And it will be also telling to see what kind of questions are they asking people. Are they asking about missing and murdered Indigenous women? What are they asking about violence? What are they asking about, homelessness? And so that will be interesting to see
sound
what
is terrible.
questions focus on.
Their sound is so bad at Alaska Source. I don't even think I can keep listening to that. All right, ladies, you're going away right now. All right. I'm looking, though, for the live stream, and it should be going because trials should be started, and I'm not finding it anywhere. Alaska News Source on YouTube doesn't have anything live right now, and I don't see anything. I don't see anything about. I see jury selection 10 hours ago. Let's see what that has to say. Let's hope this is better freaking audio than whatever the hell this was. Let's see.
Got a little bit of a preview of the subject matter from the questionnaires that you filled out, but is there anybody who, when you sat here today and Judge Saxby read the indictment and read all the charges, like, wow, that's a lot? I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I can handle this.
An SD memory card said to contain video of a horrific murder is a key piece of evidence in the case against accused murderer Brian Smith. Now, Smith was in an Anchorage courtroom for the start of his trial today. 15 of the 16 people needed for the jury were chosen, 12 jurors plus 3 alternates. Rebecca Paulshow was at the courthouse today and has an update for us now.
Evidence presented in this trial is expected to be graphic and disturbing, and at least one recording the images allegedly show a naked woman being beaten and strangled in a hotel room, charges say. So today, a lot of the questions to possible jurors focus on how would someone react to graphic video.
All rise for the jury.
Monday morning, dozens of people arrived at the Anchorage courthouse to report for jury duty. Over the next several hours, they were asked a series of questions.
So what we're looking for here are the jurors who could sit on a criminal case that involves allegations of murder, sexual assault, that may involve some graphic images, and it can last for the entire month of February.
The underlying question is, do you have something in your personal makeup or history that makes you uniquely situated that you shouldn't be a fair, or you couldn't be a fair juror?
As the defense and prosecution peppered the prospective jurors in this case, the man at the center of this trial, Brian Smith, watched on. Smith is charged with murders of 30-year-old Kathleen Jo Henry and 53-year-old Veronica Abuchak. Henry died during the first week of September 2019, strangled and killed in a hotel room. After his arrest for Henry's murder, police say Smith confessed to shooting Abuchak sometime in 2017 or 18. This case gained national attention when a person turned over to police an SD card labeled homicide at Midtown Marriott.
You've heard the nature of the charges. They're clearly very, very serious.
Evidence presented in this trial is expected to be graphic and disturbing. There'll be explicit photos and videos, and a case expected to last almost all month.
We'll be able to find out who needs to come back tomorrow.
By Monday afternoon, 15 people were chosen for jury duty, with one more to be added Tuesday morning.
What takes a month? The guy videotaped himself doing it. And why is he pleading not guilty? Why is there even a trial? Wow.
And those already chosen for jury duty were told to report to court tomorrow at 11 o'clock for the possible start of opening statements.
11 o'clock.
All right, thanks, Rebecca.
All right. So it is now, wait, they're on Pacific time. So it is only like 9 something in the morning or 8:30 in the morning. So 11 is when that is scheduled to be. So that's going to be like at, what time would it be here? 12, 1, 2, 2:30-ish? 2:30-ish maybe. Yeah, he looks less shackled than Jennifer Crumbley. What's up with that? Yeah, good question. Good question. He does look creepy. So maybe we'll watch some of that today. Joe Pottinger, thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Welcome to the Fox Den. And Hempland, Texas, gifting 10 memberships. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you for that. And Clicker AK says, click on hearings and trials and then live trials. All right, let me see. Let me see if I'm click on hearings and trials. You mean on the YouTube page or on their website? Because I am not seeing hearings and trials on the YouTube page. Do you mean the YouTube or the website? Let me know which one. Oh, Locals put the trial stream in the link. Thank you, Locals. You put the trial stream up. You guys are so awesome. How did you find it? Won't be until 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, that's so late. Yeah, going to be really hard for me to cover a trial in Alaska. Trials on Pacific time suck. But we'll be here streaming, so maybe we will watch some of it. Oh, I'm missing a lot of stuff on Locals. Let's see. They are beyond Pacific time. They're beyond Pacific time. What, they're on different time? This case was reopened. I don't know anything about it, so we're going to read about it. Let's find out about it. All right, Locals found the live stream. That's awesome. So I'm going to bookmark it, and we can come back to it at around 3 p.m. because opening statements are going to be today. So for sure, I would like to watch opening statements and find out more about this case, but I will look it up also and we'll read some stuff about it as well. I do think that the media is very lax about reporting on Indigenous murder, and it's always good to hear about that when you have an entire community of people who are saying, the media never covers our stories and we have these terrible stories. Why aren't they being covered? And they feel like they have suffered injustice because of that. I think it is important that we pay attention to it. And you know what? If that's what got my attention, those women sitting there with the bloody handprints on their face, and that's why I'm interested in it, I guess they did their job. And it looks like that might have been from previous hearings and not in front of the jury. So that's good. Hopefully nothing like that will happen in the courtroom, because for the victims, not for him, for the victims. You don't want some smarmy defense attorney moving for a mistrial because the jury was prejudiced by something in the gallery. That would be terrible. That would be absolutely terrible. All right, so I've got the link. I'm just trying to bookmark it, and I don't know how to use Edge to make bookmarks. That sucks. Maybe this bookmark. Yes. There. Add. Okay. Now I don't know how I'll find that again, but Edge doesn't have bookmarks. This is so weird. Chrome has bookmarks. Here, I'll just add it to favorites. There we go. Favorites bar. Yeah, I'll try that. Now I just don't know how to get my favorites, but at least you watched me do it. You know that I added it to the favorites, so it should be there somewhere. All right. All right, locals found out that the picture was from the arraignment. All right, well, that is good, because that would not be good if it were in front of the jury. I was concerned that this was pictures from yesterday. 2 sisters, 2 murders, but only 1 arrest. Oh, they were sisters. All right, so let's find, I'm going to find an article about this so we can read about this case. Let's start with Alaska's news source, because they are the local press, and they probably have the best reporting on it. All right. Anchorage, Alaska. The trial of a man accused of brutally murdering and taking videos and photos of the deaths of 2 Alaskan Native women begins next week. On Wednesday morning, Brian Smith's defense attorneys picked away at statements Smith made to police back in 2019, hoping to get parts of those statements ruled inadmissible. Also at issue were suggestions by the defense that the Department of Corrections was recording or listening to conversations and reading letters between Smith and his attorney and Smith and his wife. Smith listened to the proceedings on the phone. The defense also questioned the use of phrases by police when they interrogated Smith, such as accusations that Smith said, "Sadly, everyone dies in my movies." Oh, gross. The homicides gained national attention after a Good Samaritan found a memory card near the Anchorage Cars store at Gamble Street and East 13th Avenue on the ground, labeled "Homicide at Midtown Marriott." It contained images and 12 videos taken in early September that documented a horrifying scene at a local hotel, according to charging documents. The images showed a naked woman being beaten and strangled in a hotel room, charges say. Other footage showed a man who detectives later identified as Smith yelling at her to die and laughing, according to the charges. The man is described as having an English-sounding accent. Originally from South Africa, Smith later became a naturalized United States citizen. Smith is charged with the murders of 30-year-old Kathleen Jo Henry and 53-year-old Veronica Albuchik. Both women experienced homelessness. Henry died during the first week of September 2019, strangled and killed in a hotel room. After his arrest for Henry's murder, police say Smith confessed to shooting Albuchik sometime in 2017 or 2018. Albuchik's remains were found along the Old Glen Highway when law enforcement recovered a skull with a gunshot wound from an area east of the old Eklutna power plant. He faces charges including murder 1 and 2, sexual assault, and tampering with physical evidence. A grand jury also found Henry's killing involved torture. Years before Abuchik disappeared, her sister, Martha Toms, was found severely beaten in 2005 underneath a picnic table in an Anchorage park. Oh, how horrible. She died the next day. The case remains an unsolved homicide within the Anchorage Police Department. Smith was prolific in his video recordings, some of which were posted online. See, this is some of that shit that like Ethan Crumbley was watching. You know, torture porn and stuff like that shouldn't be on the internet. That's not free speech. That's illegal content. In some of his videos, Smith is seen flying a drone in his neighborhood. In one sequence, he pushes in on a black truck parked in his garage, which he refers to as a chick magnet. It is similar in appearance to and bears the same license plate as a truck described by police in their court-filed details of Henry's killing. Other videos show Smith and his wife, Stephanie Bisland, swimming in the ocean, kissing and smiling. Oh my God, he has a wife. Reached at her home this week, Bisland said, "I don't think he did it." She did not wish to answer other questions. Lady, there's a video. Smith has been steadfast in his claims of innocence. In 2019, he entered not guilty pleas. Smith was arrested at the Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport on October 8th, 2019. Hey, can somebody start looking for the charging documents in this? Somebody look for the charging documents because those are always the, like the arrest affidavit. There might be a docket in Anchorage that we can pull that off of. Wednesday morning, Judge Kevin Saxby told the attorneys involved in this case that 50 people, prospective jurors, will report to court on Monday, and an additional 39 will be available on Tuesday. Each attorney will get 2 hours to question the batch. All right, so let's see what else we can find. Hang on. Hold, please. Okay. Okay. All right. We have a YouTuber. Let's see. Who is this? A YouTube channel that's just named Jay has done like a deep dive on some of this. Let's see. You want to watch some of this? I don't know if YouTube will let me, but we will try.
You know, I made it because I was not prepared. And I was supposed to go get a haircut this morning. I said, yes, we should probably go out more. This is Alaska, so I think that's Pacific Standard Time, right? So this is like in this usually a digital memory card from the center console. Now, more than 4 years later, what she found on that card is key to a double murder trial set to begin this week. Gruesome photos and videos. By the way,
what did this guy do for a living is my question. Who is Brian Smith and what does he like? How does a guy like this keep a job? And like, how do you How do you do murder on the side? And he worked at the hotel at the hotel where he did these things? Weird. That's terrifying.
I should probably say before I start reading this, trigger videos of a woman being beaten and strangled at a.
Okay, we heard that part.
In my movies, everybody always dies. The voice says on one video.
Kind of want to hear what
About
his background
a week
was.
after she took the SD card, the woman turned it over to the police, who said they recognized the voice. That's wild that the police recognized the voice of Brian Stephen Smith, now 52, a South African native they knew from a prior investigation, court documents say.
Well, he had an unusual accent. That South African accent is unusual.
Oh, prior investigation.
I wonder what he was. I wonder what he was being investigated for before.
This all real time. So,
I bet he's done it before. I bet he's done it to other women.
oh, I'm apologize that I'm not. Kathleen Hampton, whose death was recorded at Town Plain Suites by Marriott, a hotel in Midtown Anchorage. So they have footage of it, folks. They have footage of it. And
how do you plead guilty to a crime that there's footage of you doing it? I mean, how do you not plead guilty? How do you plead not guilty? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right, I'm missing stuff in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the super chat. Says Alaska has no death penalty. Yeah, a lot of states don't have death penalty. No, the reason is because there's just so many problems with the death penalty and like innocent people being put to death. And I think it's probably a better idea to just put people in prison for life. It's better to do that than to kill one innocent person with the power of the state, I think. Although at times we really want justice and vengeance, don't we? Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the locals tip, which I'm trying to pull up. Oh yeah, there it is. Just censor all the curse words from that CJ clip and use it as some sort of intro. It'd be perfect and mostly beeped out. That's funny. CJ Grisham. Yeah, that recording of that meeting was epic. Locals has given me a bunch of stuff here. What do we have? 1 month ago. Sorry, guys. I'm just catching up on these links you guys sent. Rogue Mama, explain to me the where's the part in that clip that is relevant, because that's like an hour-long video. Okay. All right. Anyway, so perhaps we will watch some of this trial when it starts streaming today at 3 in Alaska, and get to know the victims a little bit and what happened to them, because this is a terrible story, an absolutely terrible story. Okay, let us go to Reddit and do some Tonsil Twins updates, because there's some funny stuff, and I can't dwell on murder for very long. Okay, justice for Clayton. All right. Here we go. New. Police reports. Yes, this is what we want. Okay. Present. Share screen. Edit. All right. This is from October 19th of 2023. And it is, let me see if I can make this in big in. There we go. On 10/19, the reporting party alleged a violation of order of protection against the listed defendant. The victim reporting party resides at redacted. I contacted victim Laura Owens by telephone. She stated she is pregnant with twins by suspect Clayton Echard. She stated he has denied paternity of the twins, and a subsequent DNA paternity test occurred. What's with the horse watermarks on this? Is this like an answer to the flock and their goose watermarks? Does this come from a competing Reddit page? It's funny. Laura stated, Echard posted an Instagram video which consisted of Echard stating that the results showed little to no fetal DNA present. He further stated in the video, "Let's go, baby. I knew that this was going to happen. Thankfully, 5 months of torture can finally be put to rest." Echard is a television personality, and Owens is a podcaster, both with large social media followings. Well, there goes your argument about being a private citizen, Laura. You're a limited use public figure. Owens stated that as a result of the Echard IG video, she received a large amount of negative messaging on her social media accounts and podcast. Yep, that's part of being online, ma'am. That happens. Owens stated she emailed Echard with a request to remove the video, but he has not done so at this time. Yeah, I guess he doesn't have to. It's a free country. Owens obtained an order of protection from Maricopa County on 10/6/23 that was served to Echard on 10/17/23. The order stipulates that defendants shall not communicate or post untrue, keyword here, untrue, or harassing comments regarding plaintiff online. The truth is never harassment, including but not limited to on social media, and shall not cause others to communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding plaintiff online or otherwise. Owens stated paternity determination is ongoing at this time. She is upset by the negative comments and hate appearing on her social media and podcast pages. Can you imagine what the police are thinking? Like, they've got murders to solve. There are missing Indigenous women, and we've got this woman calling them because she's got her fifis hurt about what people are writing on her podcast page. I informed Owens that I would be forwarding the report to detectives for review of the incident. This completed my contact with this batshit crazy person. Emailed the order of protection, petition, affidavit of service, and supporting examples of the disparaging social media posts. You're not entitled to not be disparaged by people who don't like the shit that you do. Disparaging comments are not illegal, Laura. All right, so then we have more documents. Okay, this is funny. The narrative, the detective narrative. On 11/27/23, I was working my assigned role as a domestic violence detective. Oh my gosh, like women are literally in danger of, and men, of being murdered by their angry exes. And this detective who works on that team is being called off of his normal, beat of domestic violence to deal with this fraud. I was conducting follow-up on a listed case. Upon reviewing this case, it has been determined no crime has been committed. Owens has submitted additional pieces of evidence. However, her evidence is accusing several Reddit profiles of being Clayton without any proof. One of the profiles she claimed was Clayton was a Photoshop picture with a sonogram image. Owens claims this is Clayton. However, she used the same image in a previous report and claimed it was a man named Gregory Gillespie. It should be noted that a similar case was turned down by prosecutors. That case was the result of Owens making very similar claims about another man, Gillespie, using fake online profiles to harass her, yet had no proof who these profiles were. My God, they could be her. Because of the lack of evidence, this case will not be referred for prosecution. So the cops are catching on. I wonder if they have her picture up on, and her name with a red flag in the system, that every time she calls them, it's a waste of taxpayer money. Why they don't go after her for filing false reports, I have no idea. They really should. Locals is doing God's work over here. They're trying to find the charging documents and stuff for Brian Smith. What do we got? We got a trial calendar from the Alaska court system. Versus Smith. Well, it might be, there are sexual assault charges in this case as well as murder. So there will be murder and sexual assault in the Brian Smith case. So if you're worried about that, you might have the right one. Looks like, yeah, Saxby is the judge. So that looks like the right one. That looks like the right one, you guys. I think you found it. So if you can access that, I don't know if that Alaska docket allows you to get digital files. Oh, Nick, you found it. Yeah, good job. I don't know if you can get the digital files, but if you can, there should be an arrest affidavit, like is as one of the first documents. If you scroll to the bottom, and the charging document, and that should be the most interesting thing we could read. That would give us the most information about it. So if anybody can pull that up and send it to me, that would be great. Oh, the documents are not available. Okay. Yeah, not every docket has the ability to pull them off digitally like Florida. Florida's so great. So great. Yeah, let's see what else is on Reddit. Anything new? Liz Neptune put up highlights of our interview. Oh, speaking of, that reminds me. I need to go over to the Broward County FOIA and update my FOIA request. I might have to do that later, though, because I don't have the info I need right at my fingertips. So let's see what else is here. The evidentiary hearing has been set for Clayton Echard and Laura Owens on February 27th. That's good. Let's see what's in the daily discussions today. Anything good? Is today the 6th? All right. All right, nothing big there. And I don't know who Austin Green is. Who's Austin Green? Stop it with the stupid commercials. All right.
Echard paternity scandal and how the former Bachelor star has been under fire.
God, all right, I'm going to call Spectrum. I swear to God. I'm going to call Spectrum.
Recently from a podcast host who claimed to be pregnant with his twins, which has led to paternity tests, police calls.
I can't deal. I'm going to have to call Spectrum. This is going to be hilarious entertainment. Me calling Spectrum. All right, hold on. All right, while I'm thinking about that, let's go over to Law and Lumber because what is this? Oh, that's the same thing we were looking at. Let's go over to Twitter. Law and Lumber has a good thread about the Crumbleys. So I want to read this about the Crumbley trial. Why is it not coming up? That's so weird. Oh, he changed his thing. I didn't recognize it. All right. Share. No, that's not him. This is so weird. Where is his Twitter? Did Law and Lumber change his Twitter handle? This is so bizarre. It's not coming up. Yeah, it's Law Lumber, right? Ah, there it is. No, it's Lumber Law. Law Lumber is somebody else that is not Rob. Okay. Here we go. It's a really good thread on this case that I agree with because it was crazy. All right. Final thoughts on the Crumbley trial. This case deserved better from all sides. This case raised a big question on where the line is drawn on third-party criminal liability in parental supervision regarding actions the most horrific imaginable by their child. The trial was a complete mess. Yeah, word. In pertinent part, counsel on both sides arguing in the presence of the jury and judge simply stood silent or contributed by expressing thoughts in presence of the jury. Yeah, the arguing in front of the jury was unbelievable. A judge that couldn't make clear rulings on any of the consequential evidentiary matters, instead expressing the thoughts of the court, or more egregiously, offering that they weren't making a ruling, but that the lawyers should know and follow the law. And C, allowing closing arguments, yes, I know there weren't objections, that were entirely impermissible under every rule I've ever known concerning closing arguments. But, you know, nobody objected. So I think if you don't object, and then you get away with it, like, period. The judge, it's not the judge's job to stop the lawyers. It's the opposing party to stop the lawyers, to stop the, to object. As I said from the beginning, this trial, for the sake of the victims and families, the defendant and the body politic, deserved better from all participants. This trial should have presented the jury with a clean view of the evidence relevant to this case, without added argument, innuendo, suggestion, etc. And on this fundamental task, I believe strongly that this court failed. The public debates surrounding the issues in this trial are significant and impactful, and the public, including the victims and families, deserved a clean presentation of the facts that would allow the jury to properly consider a complex issue. I agree with this. I agree with this. Like, it's so convoluted, and it's the lawyers did that. Like, they made it convoluted instead of making it a straightforward case, and probably because the prosecution had a convoluted case to begin with. Instead, the jury played witness to a bickering match between lawyers who couldn't stop themselves from acting like children, and a judge who couldn't control the litigants or evidence in any meaningful way. Yes, this is a hot take, but it's exceedingly frustrating when there are so many people deeply invested in a fair and just outcome. But without those fundamental elements that our justice system is founded upon, it's been hard to watch. This case involves some of the most horrific facts and circumstances that should make every single person, parent, aunt, uncle, sibling, grandparent, caregiver, teacher, etc., ask serious, far-reaching questions. I am disappointed that the manner in which the trial was conducted, rather than the actual facts and law, might have failed to give fair answers to those fair questions. I'm not speaking on whether this jury should find guilty, not guilty, or hung. That's 100% their prerogative and right as the duly impaneled jury to hear this case. I just wish the case was better presented from all sides. I think this was a really good thread, and Daily Quick Bite says, Rob is living in that fantasy that is a criminal trial. It's not. It's a political show trial and PSYOP targeting gun owners and the Second Amendment, and secondarily making families more vulnerable to government intervention. Well, yes, but they didn't do such a good job. If it was really supposed to be a show trial, like, it turned into a clown show trial on so many levels. Okay. All right, Nick, thank you for finding that in the Smith case. Nick Likes the Soup has found at least a breakdown of the actual criminal charges here. I would like to see the arrest affidavit, but I don't think we're going to be able to see that unless some of the media printed it. But it looks like Brian Smith in the Alaska case is being charged with murder 2, extreme indifference, sex assault 2, contact with CONS. What is CONS? Contact with, I don't know. Charge 6, more sex assault. Charge 7. There's a lot of charges. Holy crap. Charge 1, Murder 1, intent to cause death. Murder 2, intend serious injury. Charge 3 is murder 2, extreme indifference. Those are a lot of charges. And then the sex assault charges. There's a Class C felony in here, and I don't tampering with physical evidence. Murder 1, intent to cause death. A lot of charges. Yeah, we already read that one. And murder 2, intent serious injury. Murder 2, extreme indifference. So for each victim. So yeah, that's a lot. It's a terrible case. Just an awful case. So maybe we'll watch the opening arguments around 3 o'clock. That will be good. All right. Speaking of Crumbley, let's go to some of these windows. Let's go to closing arguments and watch those again because they were insane. You can watch those while I try and deal with Spectrum, maybe. Final arguments. All right. Stupid commercials. Share.
TV is a big trial. It's an important trial. We know that the issue and the problem of school shootings in this country is something that has to be dealt with. It has to be stopped. You know, people have to take action, whatever it is. And there's obviously different approaches. I went through that the other night. But this trial is about one of them. And when you think of school shooters, you think, what are the lines of defense that we have? Well, one line of defense are parents. Parents. The people who are hopefully the closest to these shooters in their lives before they become shooters. The ones who are seeing them day in and day out. The ones who are raising them.
All right. We don't need your commentary. Can we just get to the closing statements, please? Is he going to just do highlights or are we going to get to watch all of them?
Jennifer Crumbley.
She's on her cell phone.
Oh, it's highlights. I want to watch the whole thing. I don't want to see highlights that are cut up by court TV. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Should we watch the prosecution's closing arguments too? Should we watch both? Let's see. State's closing arguments are here. Make it a little faster though. All right, get your podium set up.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. We told you in jury selection it was going to be 3 weeks, and it's now been 2 weeks, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. This is our time for our closing argument, and I'm going to spend some time going through the evidence, and I'm going to spend some time going through the elements of the crime. I want you to know that I have been watching you diligently, taking notes and listening. So what I'm not going to do is spend a lot of time repeating everything that was said from the witness stand, because I know that you all listened, and I also want you to know that I really appreciate that, and I know the court does too. I told you during jury selection that it wasn't going to be easy, and it was not easy.
I liked defense's closing
Listening
statements
and
too.
watching and thinking about 4 young kids being gunned down in their school is not easy.
I can't believe this is going to do this every freaking couple of seconds. You've got to be kidding me. I'm trying to close down as much stuff as I can. Because maybe that is part of the issue.
You listen to every witness.
Sorry, Rumble.
You examine the evidence. And I suspect that many of you feel the way that we do, that it's difficult. But we owe it to the victims and their families to say what really happened. And you've listened and you've done that. In our system of justice, we have different roles to play, and each role is different. There are people who think it's the prosecutor's job to convict people. I don't think that's the prosecutor's job. I think my job and our job is to present the evidence and the facts and tell you the truth. And telling the truth sometimes means showing you things none of us want to see, some of us don't agree with, some of us don't like. But I believe that that's my job. We don't pick or choose the very best things because I believe that you should have the truth. And I believe that it's not my job, nor is it right to sanitize what happened in that school that day. Because if we don't tell you exactly what happened, then you don't know all the facts and you don't know what the truth is. My job here, our job, that I believe we have done, is to meet our burden to prove that Jennifer Crumbley is guilty of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The burden is high. I told you that during jury selection, but we embrace it. And I believe that we have met that burden. It means that you had to sit and listen to a lot of very emotional things, a lot of emotional people who sometimes aren't emotional, but were emotional for this. Because what happened on that day, every single person in that building had never experienced anything like that in their entire lives. And I hope to God they never do again. So you did see a lot of people, including law enforcement, become overwhelmed with the emotion of it all. That's not a show. That's just how that was. That's how it felt that day and every day after. So I want you to know that there was no picking and choosing the very best evidence to give you. There was no filtering things out that didn't help our case. I showed you everything. And I called witnesses to the stand to say things I knew you probably wouldn't like. But my job is to give you all the facts. But my job is also to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Jennifer Crumbley is guilty. And I believe we've done that. The defense also has an important job, to advocate and argue for their client. And they decide how they want to do that. And of course, the judge plays an important role. Her job is to call balls and strikes when 2 sides disagree, to make a ruling, and then to tell you what the law is. And she's going to do that as soon as we conclude here. And then there's your job. Your job is to decide what the truth is, what really happened, what are the facts, and then take those facts and find the truth and apply the law. The judge is going to give you instructions about the law, but I want you to go over what you now know, and I want you to think about it. And we're going to go over some of the evidence. But I also want to remind you that you're allowed to use your own observations and your own insight. And if there's something that you notice from the witness stand that I didn't say, you should rely on that. We can't possibly tell you every single little thing. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the most important things are the things that don't get said. The most important things are the way the victim or the witness spoke, the way they answered a question. And I encourage you to rely on your own perceptions of that. I want to start out by talking to you about the elements of the crime. Involuntary manslaughter, she is charged with. This case is based on 2 theories. You're going to have all this in the jury room, but hopefully I'm going to explain it so well you will have no questions. These are dependent on 2 specific theories. One is the gross negligence in the performance of a lawful act, and that gross negligence caused death, and in doing so, the act that caused death, the defendant acted in a grossly negligent manner. The second is the gross negligence in failing to perform a legal duty. 1, I have to prove that she had a legal duty to the victims. 2, she knew of the facts that gave rise to the duty. 3, she willfully neglected or refused to perform that duty, and her failure to perform it was grossly negligent to human life. And then 4, the death of the victims was directly caused by defendant's failure to perform this duty. Causation. The judge is going to instruct you, maybe more than once, and I'm going to say it, that there may be more than one cause of death. And it's not enough that the defendant's acts made it possible for the death to occur. In order to find the deaths of Madison Baldwin, Tate Muir, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling were caused by the defendant, you must find beyond a reasonable doubt that the deaths were the natural or necessary result of the defendant's actions. You heard the evidence that the defendant's son shot Madison Baldwin, Tate Muir, Hannah, and Justin. And as previously noted, there may be more than one cause of death. And defendant's acts or inactions need not be the sole cause of the harm. In order to find that the death of Madison, Tate, Hannah, and Justin was caused by the defendant, you must also find beyond a reasonable doubt that her son's act of shooting these 4 individuals was reasonably foreseeable. Now you look at that, all of that I have to prove. And it seems a lot. It seems like it's going to take a pretty strong case to prove that. It's going to take some pretty egregious facts, some unique, egregious, incomprehensible facts. And that's what we have here. Gross negligence means more than just careless. It means willful disregard of results to others that might follow from an act or failure to act. In order to find that the defendant was grossly negligent, you have to find the following 3 things. 1, that she knew of the danger to another. She knew there was a situation that required her to take ordinary care to avoid injuring others. And second, that she could have avoided injuring another by using ordinary care. Third, that she failed to use ordinary care to prevent injury, and to a reasonable person, it would have been apparent that the result was likely to be serious injury. I told you I have 2 theories. We're prosecuting and charging based on 2 theories. They're both based on a legal duty. What's a legal duty? In Michigan, a parent has a legal duty to exercise reasonable care to control their minor child, to prevent that child from intentionally harming others, or prevent that child from conducting themselves in a way that creates an unreasonable risk of bodily harm to others. We talked about there's 2 alternate theories. Either both of those theories, if proven, are sufficient to establish the crime of involuntary manslaughter. It's not necessary that you all agree on which theory has been proven. And as long as you all agree that we've proved at least one of those theories beyond a reasonable doubt, you can find her guilty. I want to take you through the testimony. I'm not going to get into every single detail of each of these witnesses' testimony because I know that you were listening and you were writing. You heard from Molly Darnell. Molly was a teacher in the school that day. She was in room 224. And she saw the firearm when it was raised, shoulder height.
I am confused why the prosecution spent so much time on the day of the shooting where his parents were nowhere near there. Why did she spend all this time on the facts of the shooting instead of spending time on Ethan's life at home? How he was left alone all the time. And I just don't understand their strategy here. The strategy is let's bring the jury through the shooting step by step and traumatize them. But the parents weren't there at the school. And the things you're trying to say that the parents did would have happened in the house. So why aren't you talking about why aren't you bringing witnesses that heard the screaming matches between the 2 of them and the people who knew there wasn't food in the house and leaving him home alone and the text messages? Instead, they're going to go through the testimony of this teacher at the school. And it's well, yeah, that's terrible. In fact, I'm skipping ahead because it's none of this proves in any way those elements she just went over. This is all the stuff that he did. All right, maybe this is the person, this Cammie Beck person, who is she the gun store owner? Maybe this has something to do with the elements, but that other thing had nothing to do with the elements.
We all know that she didn't and wasn't able to save Tate Muir. We heard from Cammie Beck, who sold the Caltech and the Derringer to James in June of 2021. She also sold the 9mm 6-hour to James with the shooter present on November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. She testified that James came in and pointed right at the SIG and said he's had his eye on it. She walked us through the process of purchasing a firearm. She talked about the trigger lock statement provided to James upon purchase and the cable lock provided with November 2021 on that gun purchase. Next, we heard from Special Agent.
Oh, Court's back. Hold on. The audio for the Crumbley trial is on. Something's happening in court. I don't know what. But we may have another jury question, or perhaps there's a verdict. I don't know. We're 10 hours in. There have been 2 jury questions so far. Detroit 7 is saying there's a verdict. Wow, this is happening earlier than I thought, if that's the case. I thought we would be going for longer. Shannon Smith in the courtroom. Fox 2 Detroit saying the same thing. There's a verdict in the case. Hey, Brad, can you drop that link in the private chat? I can't click on it in the chat. Law and Crime Pundit says verdict. Chachi's mom, thanks for the super chat, says, "Dear God, please let it be not guilty." No, I wouldn't say 10 hours is fast. It was only a 9-day trial. Fast would have been 2 hours. I would say you can't tell what's going to happen from the time. I wonder if it is not guilty, will the state drop the charges against James? I mean, I find it hard to believe that there wouldn't be more 1 or 2 holdouts on this jury. I just think the facts of the case just don't support the prosecution's arguments. I don't see how they could have. I didn't see them meet the burden. Could be a hung jury. Should we do a poll? Let's do a poll. I got to log back into the studio, though, because I closed everything so that my YouTube would work. All right, now this is what you think the jury's going to say, not what you think. Start a poll. Thank you, Brad. Guilty, not guilty, hung jury. I'm kind of going with hung jury. That's what I think, but I'm interested to know what you think. Was the treehouse murder guy? That was a hung jury, wasn't it? I gotta watch the rest of that trial. That was interesting. That trial was crazy. With the victim testifying for the defendant. What do you mean it can't be hung? Why can't it be hung? If the jury doesn't agree. Oh, because they said they have a verdict? Oh, well, I don't know.
That's what she said.
No way. Is that real?
Do you like minting money?
Toby
well, the lithium
Keith?
business is for you. The lithium
What happened to
margins
Toby
right now
Keith?
are practically software money.
What do you mean Toby Keith died? Can't be real. Is that real? Oh my Lord. That's horrible if that's true. What the heck happened to him? Is that real?
Recording in progress.
Oh my God, he did. Stomach cancer. I didn't know he was sick. 62 years old. Well, that's sad. I love Toby Keith's music. Actually, Ashley, my family's from Oklahoma, in Moore, Oklahoma, and that's where Toby Keith is from. He has done a lot for that city. He is very, very well loved in Moore, Oklahoma. A lot of people who live in Moore have come into contact with Toby Keith over the years, and by all accounts, he was just a really great guy. Everybody just loved him. I know my family did. Does, who lives in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to be in mourning. All right, well, I have to fix the poll then. If we can't have a hung jury, we have to fix the poll. Let's fix the poll.
Yeah, usually if it's a hung jury, they send a message to the judge, and then the judge yells at them and says, nope, go back in and keep going.
Right.
And yes, Toby Keith died.
That's sad.
He was 62 and he had stomach cancer.
Oklahoma's going to be absolutely wrecked.
I've been laid out all day today because yesterday I started coming down with something.
Wait, you're what? You're sick?
Yeah.
Are you sick?
I'm sick.
Oh, Brad. I'm sorry. You guys have less sickness in your house. You guys got to take more vitamins or something. I don't know.
So I have these immunity booster things that my wife calls horse pills because they're so big. And it's got echinacea and a bunch of other stuff. I take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D every day.
Do you take magnesium with it?
There's magnesium in the immunity boost.
Oh, that's good. Because if you don't take magnesium with your vitamin D, it doesn't absorb very well. Or something. That's what I've been told. We are voting on what we think these jurors did, not what you think should happen, but what the jurors did. Been there, done that. Says sounds like your pills don't work.
Yeah.
Brad.
Well, the other thing about it is, I didn't bring any of them with me when I was on the cruise, so that could have been an issue. And then, I've always called it con crud. You know, you go to a big gathering of people, and then you're almost certain to catch something.
Sending out a notice on Twitter that the verdict is in and about to be read.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that I take. Nature's Bounty. We were at Costco around Christmas time. Yeah. They had 120 in there for like $20.
Unhung Hero says, pills not working, it's how you get tonsil twins.
Who am I sucking off then?
Gross. Gross.
Yeah, so it doesn't have zinc listed. Or no, it has zinc listed, it doesn't have magnesium listed.
Oh, wow. I just saw the last video Toby Keith made, and he looked really skinny.
Yeah, it looks like crap.
Oh, gosh. He doesn't even look like himself, huh? I didn't know he was sick. Sad. I do sometimes worry about this for juries, like when there's these high profile cases, I feel like they're more likely to go with, you know, whatever is going to get them less blowback from the community.
That's what she said.
Knowing of Oxford and Oakland County, this isn't like an urban center. It's very much suburban. Oxford has money. I really don't think that there's going to be blowback on it.
You mean if they vote not guilty?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that everybody can just be circumspect about it. This is a very complicated case, a really tragic case with a whole lot of, like, I definitely think they're guilty of neglecting their son. I just don't know how you find a legal duty that connects them and other people's children. They definitely had a legal duty to their son. And if I were the prosecutor, I would have gone after him for child abuse and neglect.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe last night when I was coming back from the pediatric dentist, and he was going over...
We'll mute this while they're just walking around. Go ahead.
I want to say he was going over the cross of Jennifer Crumbley, and or maybe even Closey Stevens. Anyway, but he was talking about how he believes that Shannon Smith was doing very well for what she was given, and whether she was doing 3D chess or not of, I can't find stuff and whatnot, but I'm doing the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying that he loved her her closing statements, and I was saying it too, that her closing statement was good. The only problem was it was almost entirely an appeal to emotion versus being a takedown of the legal arguments of the case.
Yeah, she didn't spend any time saying this is how they didn't meet their burden. I would have done exactly what she did with the emotional appeal and showing them how they didn't meet their burden. So there's two problems with the state's case. For one, if they can do it to the Crumbleys, they're going to do it to you too. So how responsible do you want to be for everything that's on your kid's phone or whatever it is that they're into? Like, how responsible are you? And two, let's go over the elements that they have to meet, that they have to show you that they proved. They didn't prove it. They didn't prove that there is a legal duty to other people's children. That doesn't exist in the law. What does exist in the law is a legal duty to your own child, which they may have failed, and they appear to have failed, but that's not what the prosecution went after them for. So that's their problem.
And you can't get a legal duty to your child then causing the involuntary manslaughter. It's the legal duty to the victim.
Right. Yeah. Thing is that Shannon was kind of unlikable, but so was the prosecution. I think they were equally unlikable. So I think that won't hurt either one of them, because I think it's a wash.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, nothing happening yet. I'm kind of bummed we didn't get to rewatch the closing statements, though. I was looking forward to watching that again. Yeah, I thought Rob's thread was on point as well. Jennifer Crumbley is really not likable as a witness, but also didn't, like, a bunch of the stuff the prosecution said happened. She had good explanations for why it wasn't that. Now, I don't know if the jury believed her, but I found her explanations of things kind of believable. Yeah, I know. What is with all the milling around? Why does this always take so long? Let's get the show on the road is right. Oh, don't forget the twat waffle. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot that. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with gas. I feel like I need to fill the silence, and I have nothing really left to say about this.
That was my biggest problem yesterday when I was filling in for you, is being the center of attention and just being like, well, I don't have much to say, and
I thought you did good.
I appreciate that.
And I didn't mean to make you do that either. I was like, I just figured you'd just turn it on and you could just go do whatever you wanted to do. You didn't have to sit there. But I had to go and get that strep test, and Hangry is still home because he has it. So Megan with nothing to say? No way. I know. I feel very anxious, though. This case is important, and it's just one more thing that if the prosecution gets away with this, if they get a guilty verdict, I shudder to think what is going to happen to parents' rights in this country. Oh God.
The fuck?
No, 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 no. I need to figure this out. Yeah, so I still haven't called whatever, my internet provider, but I'm going to. Spectrum, thank you. Couldn't remember their name for a minute. They are the absolute worst. Worst.
Yeah.
And I am so tired of their excuses as to why they don't give me the service that I pay for. Yeah, I mean, can you believe they started doing ads during live streams? That is, it's so outrageous.
You're watching this, and oh, by the way, let's pause where you are, and regardless of, how important
What's going
what's
on?
going
Yeah.
on.
Oh, here she comes. Shackled.
She's always wearing the same, sweaters.
Shannon's hair looks like Miley Cyrus's at the Grammys. She's got it all teased. And I think she slept on it because the back is like a big nest. Holy cow. Oh, Lord. She's got to be so ready for this to be over. I think we're caught up live. Yeah, we're live. Well, of course Shannon looks worried. Of course she does. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen. Oh, Alex, you should have seen Jennifer Crumbley before the trial. She's unrecognizable now. Jail has completely turned her into a different person. The only thing is that's probably a positive from this is that if she gets out of here, she can lose all the weight and no one will recognize her again. Because this is the person they've seen, you know? Yeah, she's been in jail the whole time, Alex. Almost 3 years. This whole process was the punishment. Miss Emily says back to the Costco parking lot. I doubt it.
No.
I doubt she's going to go back to the Costco parking lot. Hopefully she's learned her lesson about that. Miss Erica says the precedent that will be set if they find her guilty will be terrible for everyone in this country. I pray the jury does the right thing. It's true. Like, it's not just cases like this. Think about other cases. What about vehicular homicide? Your kid takes your car and gets into an accident and kills somebody. They drive drunk. Are you going to jail now because you didn't, properly secure your car keys, or you didn't, you weren't supervising your kid at all times? There's a whole lot of things that this could be applied to. That would be very unjust.
All right, court is now in session. The Honorable
Finally.
Shirley Matthews presiding.
This case is highly appealable to, so while that's maybe a verdict against Jennifer, there's a high likelihood that it'll get appealed.
True. I wonder who's paying for her lawyer. I wonder if she's paying
I think
her.
she's public.
Is she public?
Your Honor, calling People versus Jennifer Crumbley, case number 22.
Luckily not, Duncan.
990 FH.
Good afternoon, Karen McDonald on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Mark Keith, on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, I'm Shannon Smith on behalf of Jennifer Crumbley, who sits to my left.
All right, are you ready for the jury?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask when the jury reads their verdict. After that, I want everyone to remain seated.
Judge, do you want us to sit up? Stacy,
It's up to you. It's up to you. I really want the audience to stay seated after when the verdict's read and after that. And after that.
It doesn't matter.
You can stay if you want.
Okay. Do you want us to?
That's weird.
What?
Her website says that she's a criminal sexual conduct lawyer.
All right, for the jury.
Shannon looks sick. She looks like she's having
yeah.
She doesn't look good. She looks green.
Awful. Good afternoon, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that you got a verdict, is that correct?
That is correct.
Are you the person?
I am.
Could you please read your verdict?
Here we go.
Individually?
Sure.
Okay. On count 1 of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
I knew it.
On count 2 of involuntary manslaughter in regards to Tate Muir, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. On count 3, as to involuntary manslaughter regarding Hannah St. Juliana, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. And of involuntary manslaughter against Justin Schilling, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Thank you for allowing me to be seated, and I'm going to close all the jury.
Juror in seat number 1, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Juror in seat number 2, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 3, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 5, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 6, was that and is that your verdict? Yes. Juror in seat number 7, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 8, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 11, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 12, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 13, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 14, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 16, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that was split half and half for men and women.
I'm going to ask you to return to the jury room. The 2 remaining alternates are also going to join you, and I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All rise for the jury.
All right, you may be seated. Time as we go, and I'm considering April 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning for sentencing effect.
That should be fine, Judge. Thank you.
April 9th at 9 o'clock is fine, thank you.
All right. I'm going to ask everyone to remain seated while the defendant is taking out the court. Okay?
All rise.
The way to appeal is that they didn't meet their burden. That's how you appeal. The state didn't meet the burden and the jury was wrong.
There's no way a jury could have come to a
They
proper
couldn't have
verdict.
come to this. Yeah, they could not have come to this conclusion based on the facts presented. That's how you appeal it. Yeah, gun-hating wine moms with perfect kids. Yeah, they'll do the same thing to James now. It is live. The feed is jumping. I don't know why. It's not. I don't know why it's doing that. It's stuttering in and out. What are we doing? What are they doing? Oh, they're showing the families. So the families of the victims are proud of themselves for getting this done without considering what it means for other families. All right. It's over.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Where the hell is the thing? I gotta get this off my face. Okay, Jennifer Crumbley found guilty of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. And yeah, when are they going to start prosecuting parents of gangbangers? That's a good question.
They have to have parents first.
Good one, Brad. Yeah, this is all about vengeance and punishment. It certainly isn't about facts. And I am more worried today than I ever have been about the state of what's going to happen to parents after this and parents' rights. And it's not that I don't want to be accountable for what my children do. I feel like that is my responsibility, right? To raise good human beings, and I'm doing the best that I can. Do I think Jennifer Crumbley did the best that she could? No. Do a lot of parents fail? Yes. And where is the line? I think Lon Lumber summed it up really well. Where is the line? And we did not get that line. I don't think that the prosecution proved their case in any way. But this jury wants to make those families feel better, and they want to make themselves feel better as if there was some answer to this. Yes, they found her guilty, Christy, if you just got in here. All 4 counts. Yeah, the parents of the trans shooter. Let's bring the jury in on them. Yeah, let's get them in there next then, I guess. Are they going? Would they even dare to bring charges against the transgender shooter's parents?
The problem there is I think that person was 20, so you're less likely to get a...
Well, the chat thinks they bought the gun, though. So when does it end? You know, if your parents bought you a gun and you use it, even if you're 20, to shoot some kids, is it their fault? This is going to set precedent. It's going to snowball across this country. I don't know. I don't know what to say to this other than I don't think it's good. I think anybody who owns guns should be very worried about, if you've got guns and kids, you should be very worried. Not that parents with guns and kids aren't already worried, but I think the government is sending a sign that they're going to come after you now. They're going to come after you criminally in any way they possibly can. And juries are going to give them what they want. God, this was a shitty case. I don't really have anything else to say on this. So I think we're going to wrap it up in here today because I've got laundry to do, and I probably should go write an article about the verdict, and I have to think about that, about what I'm going to say about it, because
Maybe you can join us on Locals for a Trashy Tuesday watch to get our minds on something.
yeah, I think on Locals, meganfox.locals.com, if I do, I think I will probably do a Locals exclusive stream there. I may do a work stream where I write an article while you guys sit there and chat and help me. But I have to do some stuff first.
Right.
I have to do some laundry. So stay tuned, meganfox.locals.com. And I will probably do another stream. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sitting through all of this with me. I'm glad that today's stream is not going to be 9 hours. I don't think I have the stamina to do that today. So I'm glad that this is over. Prayers for the Crumbleys and for the victims' families as well. This has not been easy on any of them. I'm sure that they don't feel any better today than they did after losing their children. This is not going to bring them back. It's not going to solve anything. And unfortunately, it's going to affect parents all over this nation, many of them innocent. And I don't know. That's it. That's all I have to say. Brad, get some rest.
I was working on it.
Yeah, take a nap.
Yeah, I woke up from a nap and I had your stream on, and my wife was going to go turn it off, and I was like, no, don't touch it.
Don't touch it. All right. Well, you go take a nap now. And I'll see you guys on meganfox.locals.com in a bit.
I was so lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly, it's not the time to say goodbye.